Hi, I'm Fraser Douglas, the avid tent camper. You know, I've been wearing full brim hats for about 8 years now, and over this time I have come to like hats that have three specific features. I like a hat that has a wide brim that is at least 3 inches wide. I like a hat with a fedora-like crown with a center crease and a pinched front. And I especially like a hat that has a very attractive hat band that is about 1 to 1.5 inches wide and contrasts with the color of the hat. It's pretty easy to find straw and palm leaf hats with these three important features. They are frequently found in traditional Panama hats and the many modern variations of it. But these hats are only suitable for summer wear, and their materials are a little fragile for rough camping life. Hats made from polyester mesh and cotton twill would make much better hot weather summer camping hats because their materials are a little more rugged to stand up to the rough and wet conditions of camp life. But they usually do not come with nice looking hat bands. Wool felt hats make good cool weather camping hats, and they have the wide brim and the medium height fedora-like crown, but again, they don't come with nice looking hat bands. Now this band is not too bad, and so I'll keep it. And this aftermarket band that I found in a Western wear store is not too bad. But most wool felt hats only come with a thin, brown leather or fake leather band that is very unattractive. And so I began investigating replacement hat bands about 2 years ago. Let me share some of the things that I found. Let me first address some general guidelines. The width of the band is the first consideration. Traditionally, narrow bands were put on men's hats and wider bands were put on women's hats. I like a hat band that's about 1 to 1.5 inches wide. The termination point is a second consideration. Traditionally, the band on a man's hat begins on the left side, passes around the hat in a counterclockwise direction, and terminates on the left side with the finished end pointing to the rear. The band on a woman's hat can terminate on either the left or the right side. Crown taper is a third consideration. Typically, the crown of a man's hat is wider at the base, near the brim, and tapers toward the top. As a result, a wide hat band can be tight at the bottom and still be loose and floppy at the top. Each hat band will accommodate this taper in a different way. An attachment method is the fourth consideration. Some hat bands are attached with hot glue, but hat lovers typically believe that this method destroys the hat. Some bands are stitched to a hat with a little thread, while other bands are hooked to a hat with a small curved hat pin. So now let's talk about a few different types of replacement hat bands. The easiest way to add a contrasting hat band is just to buy a stretchable band and slide it over the crown of the hat. Or you could find just an elastic band, sew it together and slide it over the crown. The primary problem with these bands are there are few color options and they don't look real dressy. Long silk scarves have been used to make hat bands on African safari hats for many years. Typically, the scarf was tied into a square knot with the knot at the back of the hat, and the long ends of the scarf would fall down over the neck to protect it from sunburn. More recently, people have cut long strips of blue jeans, sheets, t-shirts, and other fabrics and attached them to adhesive fabric backing strips to make hat bands. The first full brim hat that I ever bought had a fabric hat band, and I have saved this hat band and put it on several other hats over the last 12 years. The puggaree or pug hat band is a pleated hat band that is associated with Australian outback hats. This green pug hat band has 3 pleats and measures 1 3/4 inches wide by 28 inches long, and it has 1 hook on each end. Notice that it is slightly curved to accommodate the taper of the hat crown. Let me show you how to attach this green puggaree band to this outback hat. First of all, I want to make sure that the pleats are pointing downward, and then I want to take the unfinished end, there's a hook here, and hook it into that band, wrap it around in a counterclockwise direction until you finish on the left side, pull it tight, and then hook that hook. And there you have it. Grosgrain ribbons have been used to make hat bands on fedoras for many years. The ribbon can be made from polyester or from linen and typically is around 2 inches wide. Hat authorities argue that the grosgrain ribbon wicks sweat and moisture away from the felt better than any other type of hat band. You can find replacement grosgrain ribbons on the internet in a variety of colors and striped patterns. I bought this one a couple of months ago, but I can't decide what hat I want to put it on. You can also buy a grosgrain ribbon in a variety of colors and a variety of widths in most sewing and fabric shops. I bought this roll of 75 yards for $3 at Walmart. I'll use about a yard of it to make a hat band for this black hat, and I don't know what I'm going to do with the remaining 74 yards. Recently, I've discovered that Jacquard Ribbon makes a great looking hat band. Jacquard Ribbon was developed in France around 1800 and has been occasionally used to decorate clothing and other garments. You can find a wide range of patterns and widths on the internet, and you can usually buy 2 to 5 yards of it for around $10 to $15. I have recently used it to make a hat band for this Stetson Gray Bull hat and for this Scala Indiana Jones style hat. Now I'll show you how I make a band for this Stetson Tahoe hat. I'll be using this Jacquard ribbon pattern. The first step is to take this Jacquard ribbon, just wrap it around the crown of the hat, and get the approximate length and cut it. Now this piece we won't need. This is going to be our hat band. Now when you cut this Jacquard ribbon, it's going to unravel quickly, and so you need to hit it with a flame very lightly to prevent it from unraveling. Now I need to remove the old hat band. I see that it is just tacked on with a few stitches, and so I'm going to slide my knife down and cut that stitch there. Cut that stitch there. That one. And the old hat band is off. For this next step, I've got to have my needle with some black thread ready. I'm going to put my hat band around again so that it terminates on the left side. I'm going to pull it snug, pinch it together, and then remove the band and tack it together. After tacking the bottom edge of the hat band together, I put it on the hat to see how it fits, and it fits perfectly. Now, what I'll do is I'll tack the top edge together, and you notice a little slop in the front and the back of the hat. This is a close-up photo of the front. I plan to take that up with a couple of small pleats. Well, I've got my pleats in, and so the next and final step is to put this little piece of trim around the seam on the left side. I'm going to start at the bottom and tack my trim to the bottom, pull it up the back and across the front and back down so that it pulls the top of the ribbon slightly downward to take up more of that top slop. Here is the finished hat band with the pleats and the trim piece in place. And here it is on the hat. At first I'd planned to tack the band onto the hat, but it fits so snugly I don't think I need to do that. And so I'm not going to do it for the time being. Sari border trim is very similar to Jacquard ribbon and also makes a great hat band. It is used to decorate dress-like garments worn by women from India. After finishing the hat band, I'll punch a couple of holes in the brim with a nail and then add either a black or a brown shoestring with a cord lock to make a wind string. When it's not windy, I usually attach it to the back of the hat. Also, I'll spray the hat with a silicone spray to make it a little more water resistant. Well, I hope that you've enjoyed this video, and I hope that you've learned something about hats that you find interesting. Remember, take more trips, travel further, visit more attractions, and save money. Go tent camping. For more information about modern tent camping clothing and equipment, please subscribe to this channel, visit my website, and watch this next video. Thanks for watching.